Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone. So welcome to the PETRONAS Accessibility webinar session. First of all, we are sorry for the delay due to some technical error. So this webinar session will be presented by me, Muhammad Ismail Abdul Khalid, followed by Syazah Nabila binti Jamhuri. The third panel is Nachati Rambal, anak perempuan Paciapan, and the last one is Yoga Rani, anak perempuan Wijaya Mukti. Okay, for this webinar session, next slide please. Okay, for this webinar session, the objective is in order to increase the awareness and also knowledge of the PETRONAS accessibility strategies and its related accessibility issue. And next slide please. So our agenda for today is, first one is we go through the overview of the Petroleum Nasional Berhad, PETRONAS, and the second one we proceed to the PETRONAS accessibility strategies. There are 4 PETRONAS accessibility strategies. The first one is total greenhouse gas emission that will be presented by me. The second one is nurture future leaders that will be presented by Syazah Nabila. The third one is 3R circular economy that were presented by Nachati Rambal, and the last one is clean energy that will be presented by Yoga Rani, and we followed by the conclusion, and we close this webinar session with the Q&A session. Okay, we proceed to the first one is overview of the Petroleum Nasional Berhad, PETRONAS. Next slide please. Okay, PETRONAS is founded at early 70s, which is the 17th August 1974. And as Malaysian, we know that PETRONAS is the well-known oil and gas company in Malaysia. And for your information, PETRONAS serve widely in the world, as PETRONAS acquired many subsidiaries in the world, such as in the Argentina, Brazil, and others. PETRONAS has recognized as a government-linked company. This is because PETRONAS is the second largest contributor to our country revenue, so that it's necessary for the government to back up, to support the PETRONAS operation. Okay, as PETRONAS is the big company in the Malaysia, so it need the key people in order to organize and operate the PETRONAS. And the key people of the PETRONAS itself is its CEO, the Tengku Muhammad Taufik Tengku Aziz. Tengku Muhammad Taufik is previously is the CFO of the PETRONAS, and last year he is appointed as the CEO of the PETRONAS. As CEO of the PETRONAS. And for your information, PETRONAS HQ is located at Tower 1, PETRONAS Tower, Kuala Lumpur City Centre, KLCC, in the middle center of the Kuala Lumpur. And for your information, Kuala Lumpur City Centre, as we know that that is the twin tower, right? The first tower and the second tower. This is the additional information that KLCC also have the additional tower, which is the tower 3. As you can see that the first one, the right one is the twin tower. The first tower, the right twin tower is the tower 1. The middle one is the tower 2, and the left beside the tower 2 is the tower 3. So because that PETRONAS acquired more tower to operate the operation. The next slide please. Okay, we proceed to the first PETRONAS accessibility strategy. The first one is total greenhouse gas emission. Okay, before we proceed to the explanation of the total greenhouse gas emission, we must acknowledge about how PETRONAS operate in order to extract the oil and gas from its plants. Okay, for the PETRONAS, there are two main operation. The first one is downstream activities, and the second one is upstream activities. For the downstream activities is is we go for the uh, we go to the upstream activity first. Okay, for the upstream activities, it is involved to creating the geological survey, obtaining the land rights, and the production activities, as we can see in the onshore and the offshore drilling. And in Malaysia, it's popular that our Malaysia use the offshore drilling as our crude oil is located in the middle of the sea. So after the oil and the gas extract from the crude oil, so we moved Petronas moved to the downstream activities. So the downstream activities involve the refining the petroleum crude oil and the processing, and also the purifying of the raw natural gas in order to market and distribute the product that derive from the crude oil and also natural gas. And its Petronas operation involve huge huge what we can say huge operation, and this might increase the total greenhouse gas emission. And as we know that total greenhouse gas emission is bad to our environment, as it can decrease the ozone layer, and it can give the harm to the human. So as you can see in the table below, in the 2015 until 2017, there is the slightly increase in total greenhouse gas emission from 46.1 million metric ton of carbon dioxide equivalent to 52.4 million metric ton of carbon dioxide equivalent. And it's slightly decreased from 2017 until 2019 from 52.4 million metric ton of carbon dioxide to 47.5. Because of this, can be harm to the human. So Petronas implement the sensibility strategies, such as is implement the chimney filter to the air to all its chimney, so that it can decrease the total greenhouse gas emission in its operation. So as for the result, in the 2020 Q1 2020 is decreased from 47.9 million metric ton of carbon dioxide to 23.6 million metric ton of the carbon dioxide equivalent. So this can give beneficial to the human in order to survive in the future. So the second one is I give to the Shazan Nabila to present.
All right, so my name is Shazan Nabila. So I'll be presenting on the second strategy, which is nurture future leaders. So the long-term objective for Petronas in order to nurture future leaders is to reach over 24,000 beneficiaries through educational programs cumulatively between 2020 to 2024. All right, so how do they do it? So since 1975, Petronas Education Sponsorship Program, PESP, has brought education opportunities close to 37 eager young minds across Malaysia and the globe. So Petronas awards sponsorships to deserving students looking to pursue tertiary education in fields relating to oil and gas at reputable institutions at higher learning in Malaysia and also internationally. So some of the one of the sponsorship program under Petronas is Yayasan Petronas. So the aim of this program is to open doors for young talents in their pursuit of knowledge, self-enrichment, and brighter futures. So Petronas continue to focus on nurturing the right talent who will ultimately contribute to the growth of the organization, industry, and also nation. So below is the 5-year sustainability data for nurturing future leaders. So as we can see, the number of scholarships awarded to Malaysians increased from 2015 to 2017. But in 2018, it slightly decreased, and in 2019, it increases again. And in the first half of 2020, the total number of scholarships awarded to Malaysian is amounted to 351, and for the total 2020, it is expected to exceed the 2019 number of scholarships. All right, so most of these scholarships are awarded to students who pursue their studies in Malaysian universities. So, which means internationally, there isn't, it's only not as much as the local universities scholarships. So for non-Malaysians, Petronas also sponsored some non-Malaysians who studied in UTP Malaysia. So UTP is University Technology Petronas Malaysia, and the number of students, non-Malaysian students, keep decreasing from year to year over the 5 years, and this is to so that Petronas can focus more on local students. All right, so the next one. In the first half of 2020, Petronita, which is the Association of Wives and Women Staff of Petronas, has collaborated with the Malaysian Mental Health Association, MMHA, on a mental health first aid youth program for secondary schools. So the objective of this program is to educate teachers on ways to tackle adolescents with mental health issues. As we know, mental health issues is um, is on the rise now. So it is important to tackle this issue. So why do we choose teachers? So in most cases, teachers are the first responders for students in school. So, in January 2020, the first mental health first aid training session has took place, and it involved 25 teachers at the National Council of Welfare and Social Development Center in Bandar Baru, Sentul. So, more about Petronita is that Petronita is a charitable entity which has been continuously committed towards the mental health and well-being of students. So this program is sponsored by Petronas and also supported by the Kuala Lumpur Education Department. So other than this, there are several other programs in order to nurture the future leaders. So I'll pass the floor to the next presenter.
Okay, next we will be presenting about the 3R circular economy. One of the sustainability strategies of Petronas is incorporated with 3R economy, which is reuse, recycle, and reduce. So Petronas have taken a lot of activities such as material efforts in material use, in its communications, and other control procedures. For instance, there is a project which is the Cubic project under Petronas. So for the Cubic project, to achieve a double platinum certificates by Green Building Index and LEAD USA, Petronas have emphasized on the 3R circular economy features in the Cubic project. For instance, for the sustainable building features, refurbished intersected container cabins, photovoltaic solar panels, and reused and salvaged material for the workstation has been used. So from the every little room for improvement, Petronas have been implemented all the 3R circular economy. So next, I will go to the next presenter.
Okay, hi, my name is Yourani. So my next clean sustainable strategy is about clean energy in Petronas. Next. Okay, Petronas Ventures tap into startup the technology and innovation ecosystem to drive the Petronas into more competitive age as a progressive energy and solution partner and to position the company for the future growth. PETRONAS Venture marks its foray into venture capital through investment in Braintree Technologies Sdn Bhd and also with the Source Energy Sdn Bhd. Both companies are graduates of PETRONAS Future Tech Acceleration in 2009, which their aim is to contribute to the Malaysian economic future and growing domestic ecosystem. Generally, the Braintree technology supports the robotics and artificial intelligence software development that will provide the agricultural solution in Malaysia. And the Source Energy is reaffirmed the commitments to the renewable energy as a solution partner to expand the innovative business model that provides sustainable energy for the residential and SME sectors. Next. Okay, next, how it increased the access to cleaner energy. In 2020, Petronas established the virtual pipeline system as a solution to transport the LNG via trucks to off-grid customers located away from the main pipeline as well as to small-scale customers. This is the main solution that works together to make LNG, the cleaner fuel, more accessible to the world so that together this energy can lower the carbon emission in Malaysia. That's all for me. I pass to Yusuf to conclude the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Yoga. Okay, for the conclusion, next slide, please. Okay, for the conclusion, PETRONAS is committed to conducting its business responsibility to benefit the society and the environment while ensuring the efficient delivery of clean energy as sustainability strategies is important in order to add value to the society and also environment part. And in this webinar, we can see that PETRONAS has implemented some sustainability strategies. For example, reducing the total greenhouse emission. The second one is nurture future leaders. The third one, implementing 3R circulating economy. And the last one is increasing the clean energy. And I want to add one latest sensibility strategy that PETRONAS implement. PETRONAS also responds to the this pandemic COVID-19 situation as PETRONAS contribute more than 42 million despite of these challenges years. PETRONAS still able to contribute 42 million to our country. For further information about the PETRONAS accessibility strategies, you can read more on PETRONAS website, which is the www.petronas.com, and you can search the sensibility strategies in the accessibility part. So the next slide. So for the last session for this webinar is the Q&A session. So we open the question if you have the question to ask.
Hi, Hi, can you all hear me? So, I have a question, but first of all, I would like to say that I enjoy your webinar. Thank you for inviting me. And then the question is, I would like to address this question to the panel named Shazana Bila. So the question is the collaboration with MMHA a one-off collaboration? So
All
that's the
right.
question.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Fakir Anwar, for the question. So to answer the question, no, it is not the only collaboration with MMHA. So for the second half of the year 2020, Petronita has collaborated once more with MMHA to raise funds through a virtual run with the team Step Up to Inspire that was organized from the 5th to 13 December 2020. So this run is aimed at supporting mental health whilst promoting a healthy lifestyle. So the funds collected from the run will be contributed to schools with the aim to better equip the teachers in managing students' mental health needs by upskilling the teachers with mental health aid. So does that answer your question?
So that means that the collaboration of Petronas and Petronita is not a one-off, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this answered my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you team for the wonderful webinar. So I'm going to ask about what's the importance of the user's double platinum certificate to Petronas. Anyone can answer those specific. Thank you.
Is the question is through to me?
Sorry, I repeat the question. Now, what's the importance of the user's double platinum certificate to Petronas?
Okay. So, can you hear me? Because my internet
I can
data
hear you.
is slow. Actually, green building is all about how efficient and how sustainable a building is. So, like all the contractors and who are building, it is important for them to build the type of building phases where it can save energy, it give impacts to the environment, society around the building. So it is important to have those certificates because first of all, using 3R circular economy in building a sustainable building will give a cost reduction as a builder, like in this case to Petronas. Second at all, acquiring the certificates will give a good image to the company because they will be one of the leaders in the green building market. So it will add values to the company and it will add values to the customers of Petronas. So that's why it's important to acquire those certificates. Did it answer your question?
Thank you, Mr. Bamba.
Thank you.
Hi, I would like to ask a question. Just now you mentioned that Petronas have many subsidiaries. Can you give some subsidiaries and its function, please?
Yeah, Malina, for the question. So that you mentioned that how many subsidiaries in Petronas and what is function. So for information, Petronas have more than 300 subsidiaries that are located in worldwide area in the world. So as I can say that the local subsidiaries that located in Malaysia, the first one is Petronas Gas Berhad. As you can see in the kitchen, our kitchen itself. So we have the what we call the gas. So the gas is provided by the Petronas Gas Berhad. And the second subsidiaries that Petronas have, the Petronas Dagangan Berhad. As you can see at the oil pump, oil pump, oil petrol pump, sorry, petrol pump. So this is one of the subsidiaries that operate by the Petronas Dagangan Berhad. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, thank you for the informative webinar session. My question is to Yoga. Can you give me an example of renewable source solution that have been adopted by Petronas?
Thank you, Diva, for the question. As I know from the Petronas Sustainability Report, in 2012, Petronas engaged on its first solar power project with the commissioning of a 685 kilowatt solar photovoltaic system on the rooftop of Surya KICC in Kuala Lumpur by successfully supplying the 30% of the building electricity demand. And following this project, there is a 10 MW solar plant in Gebang Pahang and a solar photovoltaic PV system at Aerozone, a division of Petronas Lubricants International in Italy. And then in 2018, Petronas solar portfolio further expanded with the installation of solar PV panels at the Pengarang Integrated Complex in Johor, serving with the power to the control building at the cogeneration plant as well as upcoming PIC visitor center with a total capacity of 207 kW. That is the energy solution that adapted by the Petronas.
Is there any more question?
Firstly, thank you to all of the presenters for having this webinar session. Okay, I would like to ask Ms. Shaza. Aside from what you have stated earlier, are there any other programs with the focus on nurturing future leaders? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shafia. So, to answer your question, yes, there are many more programs in nurturing future leaders. So, among those, program Duta Guru, an initiative by Yayasan Petronas in partnership with the Ministry of Education Malaysia via Pusat STEM Negara. So, aside from that, Petronas has also been providing students in rural areas in Sabah and Sarawak with hostels because so that they can get easier access to schools because you know the rural areas in Sabah and Sarawak, they have very bad roads and all. So the building of these hostels actually help the students to get to school easy. So that's all from me. Does that answer your question?
Oh yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any more question? Okay, I think this is the end of our session. So we as the panel for this webinar session, glad to to get all of you to join us for this webinar session. So we thank all of you for this session. So thank you from us.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.